we were not raised in a Christian. I wasn't raised going to church. I became a believer, a follower of Jesus in 1993 when I was 15 years old. But we were still raised in a home that respected biblical truth, biblical values. If you would have said to my parents, and by the way, I had the privilege of baptizing my father here a couple of years ago. But if you would have said even long before that the Bible said something, that meant something to my parents. That meant something to a lot of people. I would say virtually everybody that I knew as a kid. Not everyone. There's certainly exceptions. But used to, you could say, hey, the Bible says this, and that would get people's attention because they would at least have a starting point for respecting it. That's not the case today. That's not the case at all. In fact, in some parts of this country, that sounds like the beginning of a punchline to a joke for people. And so we have really fallen. And I say that this is where the church, this is not the government's job. I'm not implying that it is, but you also don't want people who are unwilling to recognize that America is in a moral, a dilemma on choosing its worldview and its values, right? And we have two diametrically opposed worldviews, at least, that are being thrust upon the scene here today. One is promoted by the godless radical left. It's a morally bankrupt ideology. And the other is one rooted in liberty and the Constitution and values that I would argue are at least have common ground, if not directly rooted in Christian teachings and concepts. And so that's what Trump is wanting to bring back.